Slalom for Beginners, level 8. This is a full pass with 100 turns, incorporating everything that we've learned in all the levels up to this point. Let's just let this pass run, and then we'll back up and break it down, showing where all the various skills we've learned previously fit in. Okay, now that pass is it's been run, as you can see, on long lines of 18 meters. I think that's 15 off, and 46 kilometers an hour, so 26 or 28 miles an hour. So most people's kind of starting speeds. So in level 7, we were looking at the correct way of learning how to let go with one hand. And what we do with level 8 is we use the same principles, but because we've got more speed, more energy into the wakes, where we actually let go and how we go about this is going to look slightly different, but the principles are exactly the same. So the energy, as we know, is here. This is coming through the gates. Shoulders are level, hips, chest is facing in the direction of travel. We try and keep the handle connected, the elbows connected, even though there's a bump there because at 18 meters there is quite a big bump in the wake. So we get a bit of a loose line, but crucially, elbow is connected, and that connection is what helps you get the ski onto this inside turning edge. So this is really important, this inside turning edge. We can now see the top of the ski here. Now what we can do is actually take that back slightly, because in an ideal world, it doesn't matter what speed we're doing or line length we're doing, in the ideal world you actually want to probably be changing edge about here in the middle of the wake. But in these slower speeds, it's fine to be changing edge, really leaving the white water. You want to be leaving the white water, changing edge about here. If you change edge much later, then the timing's just not going to work for you. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So as before, we're going to keep the chest going out, we're going to keep the hips going out, we're going to try and keep the shoulders level, and we're actually going to take that arm, and we can't actually extend with our arms forwards, but the principle is that we're trying to do that. What you learned in the previous level about pushing the arms forward before you drop the outside arm, that's really to discipline you in order to keep your shoulders level and your chest and your hips all facing out. Because the line is going to have some tension on it, like this, when you try and bring your hand forward, you'll probably find it comes in slightly. But what you don't want to happen is you don't want this shoulder to come in. So if you just drop your arm to the inside, chances are your shoulder will come in, which is a bad idea. So we've got to try and keep that handle going forwards in front of you in order to keep your chest going out. Now this is 18 meters, so you're going to see the slack line. Really, this is pretty nasty. As the line gets shorter and speed gets faster, we want to get rid of that. But at 18 meters, it's kind of tough. My goal now is to stand on top of the ski. You can see that the water is breaking on my front foot, and we've gone on the inside edge from all the way back. Here is where we started on the inside edge, where the spray is. That spray wouldn't be there if we weren't on the inside edge. And what I'm doing is with my front foot, I'm pressuring the front of the ski and pressuring that inside edge and pushing in this direction. And this is what slows me down, but also keeps me going out. Try and keep the chest going down course, even though I'm starting to look in. I'm making sure that my chest is still facing out, my hips are still facing out. This is what keeps the ski going, everything going in that direction, even though the ski is already on its inside edge. This is absolutely critical. And when I know I'm ready to turn, and this is something that you're going to feel, and initially you can get your coach in the boat to help you, I'm going to keep the pressure on that front foot, collect the handle, and as we've seen in previous levels, lock in my hip, my elbows on both sides, and hold that position, waiting for the acceleration which is going to come about here. And then it's absolutely critical to keep the shoulders back, chest up, keep that connection in order to ride the acceleration through the weight. And we can see here, we're trying to keep the chest and the hips just slightly ahead. Keep that connection. As we come off, you can see that the ski is changing edge about here. My elbows are still connected, and that connection is what allows this ski to roll onto that inside edge. And having rolled onto the inside edge, we need to hold that position. We need to pressure that inside edge by putting weight down the front foot. And as before, keeping the chest going out, keeping the hips going out, keeping the shoulders level. You can see from the spray here that we're already pressuring the inside edge. And then just maintain that pressure, keeping the weight on the front of the ski, on that front foot. Trying really hard to keep my chest and hips facing outbound, keeping pressure on that front foot. Pressure on the front foot, the spray increases as I increase the pressure on the front foot as I'm ready to turn. I see the buoy. My goal, your goal at every pass should be trying to get as close as you can to the buoy. So you're turning right on the back of the buoy. If you wait till the buoy and then turn, what you'll find is you run out of space quite quickly. So I'm pretty much turned here already. All I'm doing is collecting the handle, locking elbows into the hips, and then just holding position, shoulders back, chest up until I hit the maximum load point, which is going to be about here. And then all I have to do is hold this, resist with my legs as hard as I can, so they don't collapse. And you can see the reason that I'm starting to get taller here is because I'm resisting with my legs. That resistance with my legs and getting taller means that my shoulders I'm actually coming up. My shoulders are getting further away from the water, if you like. And that's what initiates this edge change. So again, you can see I'm still connected, my elbows are still connected to my lower rib cage, but the ski is changing edge. Okay. And if we compare this to the previous lesson, where we're literally just running down the lake and waiting for the line to tighten rather than accelerating that turn or actually slowing down purposely inside edge, we can hopefully see the difference. Okay, so here we are with the level 7 on the left hand side, where all we're doing is dropping one hand in the turns. And just to show the difference between the edge change that you get when you're running the pass and when you flatten the ski out. So there's a bit more energy in the pass on the right because we're going to be running the course. But what you'll see here is that on the right here, I've already changed edge. You can see the top of the ski here. On the left, however, it's not quite the same. And as we start to advance down the lake, you can see the top of the ski quite clearly over here, whereas we're still looking at the side of the ski. And you'll also see a difference in the spray. So on the left hand side, you're seeing the spray from where I landed, whereas on the right hand side, you're starting to see the spray here that comes off the ski because that inside edge has been pressured. And it's pressuring that inside edge that's going to ultimately result in me slowing down in order to be able to turn at the same speed as the boat. You can't actually turn if you're going faster than the boat. And we found that in the previous lessons. That's why you need somebody in the boat letting you know or just advising you when your speed is equalizing with the boat so that you can turn with a tight line. We know that from the previous lessons. So you can see here on the right hand side, just look at the difference in the spray, and that difference is because I'm pressuring, all my pressure is going down onto that front foot. Chest and hips, as we know, are pointing outwards, but that pressure's on the front foot. If I rotated my chest and my hips in, if I was actually turning in this direction, what would happen is that the ski would actually be coming in, I would lose my outbound direction, and I'd end up with a lot more slack line, and it would be impossible to actually turn at the buoy. I'd probably just sail past the buoy. In this particular situation, because I'm putting that pressure down the front foot whilst keeping the chest and the hips pointing out, I'm actually able to keep the ski going outbound whilst on the inside edge. And that's where this all happens. That's where the turns happen. On the other side, we can see quite clearly that I'm continuing to roll down the lake, and I can't turn yet because I haven't equalized my speed with the boat. And there's no pressure from the boat at all. I'm just lifting the hand up and getting ready to turn. And you can see again, the difference is quite dramatic. And it's all about getting onto that inside edge. So let me just advance to that particular cut to see the difference again. So I've just advanced the left-hand video to the same as the right-hand video, so we can see in that offside cut, same thing happens. I've used the energy on up here to be able, and the connection of my elbows to my rib cage, to basically allow the ski to roll underneath me as I go through the waves. This pier to here is sort of where the magic happens in terms of your edge change. Some people talk about the edge change just happening. It doesn't. You do have to dictate when you release your edge, and that can only happen if you're getting pulled, or only happen predictably if you're getting pulled from your lower rib cage than from your shoulders. So arms out is not going to work here as you want. Again, you can see the difference. I'm already on the inside edge here. You can see that the spray's already started back here. This is still landing spray on the left hand side. And then as I continue to head towards the buoy, I've managed to keep my chest pointing out, hips pointing out, shoulders as level as I can get them. And whilst I'm doing the same over here, with sort of hips pointing out, chest pointing out, level shoulders, because I'm on an entirely flat ski, we don't slow down. We manage to keep a bit of tension in the line, but we don't slow down, so there's no way I'm ready to turn. Here on the right hand side again, much more relaxed, pressure through the front foot, pressuring that front foot in order to push against the ski, which develops that spray that you're seeing. But again, you do that by keeping your chest and your hips pointing out. Turn on the back side of the buoy, and we turn again, not by moving the shoulders as we know. We turn, just a reminder, you turn by dropping your hip in slightly. Okay, that hip, trying to keep your shoulders level and moving your mass to the inside and ultimately towards the back of the boat in your direction of travel. This is how we turn. Remember, level 2 is move your mass across the inside. That's how you turn. Okay. So back to the pass. Exactly the same again. Your goal is to load, or at least resist from the point at which you get maximum load from the boat all the way through the waves. That resistance is pushing with your legs. And if you look carefully, what's happening is from where I was here, if you were to take the distance from my shoulders to the water, what you would find is that the distance is less there than it is here. So effectively my shoulders are coming up. And the reason my shoulders are coming up is because of the energy that I'm putting in here. And by energy I mean that resistance. So shoulders back, chest up, resist, press with the legs. You're not trying to press the water, you're just trying to press to resist. and the resultant of you pressing is that the rope and the boat is going to a rib cage and pull you up, and that action of pulling you up is what's going to change edge if you allow it. If you don't allow it, if you try and keep on edge, you can slide out the other side and run down the lake as we did in level 7, but that's not the purpose when you're trying to run the course. You have to use that energy to allow it to stand you up. Don't let your arms out. Keep that connection. Try and have your hips slightly ahead of your shoulders, and when you land, you're going to land on the inside edge, and you allow that to happen. You keep your connection with your elbows, you allow yourself to come onto that inside edge, and you use the handle and your connection to the boat in order to make sure that your weight is balanced between your feet, really favouring your front foot, get your chest pointing out, hips pointing out, and really put pressure down that front foot. It's outwards pressure while your chest still goes out. Then you release the handle, keep your shoulders level. You bring the handle in front of you. I'm pressuring the front of the ski and the inside edge, and only when I get to the buoy and I'm ready do I let the ski properly turn. And the way I let it properly turn is to then consciously move my mass in this direction. And that's done by keeping level shoulders. We're back to our level 2 lesson again. Level shoulders, moving your mass across the inside of the ski. That's how you finally turn it. The inside edge isn't what turns it, it's moving your mass across it. There you can see that we've got my hip moving in that direction. Although it doesn't look that level, effectively what I'm aiming at, level shoulders, there's my mass, and we're moving across, moving in that direction. That's what finally turns the ski, and you can see it just moves right round. It's probably an even better image there. You can see moves right round. You just stay balanced on it, pressure on that front foot until here, and then you just hold on and do exactly the same thing again. So there are lots of videos out there of people explaining how to do this and showing themselves running passes. And I was looking around the web and I found one of Whitney Reaney, who is multiple winner of Pro Tour championships all over the world. And this is taken from one of, I think it's their Instagram video. It's really interesting because in this particular video she is 30 weeks pregnant and is running the course at 24 miles an hour, a nice big ski. And I really just wanted to put this in here to show that it's not about speed, it's not about strength, it's not about power. Skiing properly is all about technique. So you have a look at this. Again, facing down the course, she's locked in, changes edge, chest point, hips point out. It's exactly what we're showing in the previous video, but without any significant strength, just really, really good technique. And this is what you really want to be striving and aiming for. You don't have to short line or go to any great at any great speed. So the point of these videos was to help you develop skills and techniques to allow you not only to ski safely and enjoy your time on the water on the slalom ski, whether you're free skiing or running the course, but to have the solid foundations so that wherever you go, whoever you have coaching you, you're going to be able to progress as quickly as possible. If you've got any questions on the techniques presented, then do message us, contact us at Waterskiing Wakeboard Scotland, or leave a comment in the comments section of the YouTube video.